Today I'm going to be teaching you about reconstituting clay and the different consistencies of clay. So over here we have our slip, which you guys have made. It's just a mixture of water and clay. This is really like a mixture in between slip and malleable clay. Okay. This one is still somewhat workable, but it is still hard. So like when you roll coils or you make pinch pots, it's gonna be cracking a lot. This one is pretty hard, okay? So I would say this is like a leather hard. If you were to try to bend it, it would crack and break. And you can squeeze it in your hand, but it is a little bit challenging. And then you have your bone dry clay, which has no moisture in the clay and it's super hard. Okay, so this clay that is super wet, you can see it's very sticky. This would be really hard to work with right now. So if you have clay that is like this, and eventually it might get to this when I teach you how to recycle it, you are just going to be laying it out on the backer board and kind of spreading it out. And because this isn't super wet, within, I would say 10 to 15 minutes, you can peel this up. You can use a rib to scrape it off, wedge it, and it will be good to go, okay? This clay that is still malleable but cracks a lot when you work with it, this is the clay that a lot of you have at this moment, and I'm gonna show you how to reconstitute it. So I'm gonna have you guys come over here to the sink with me. You can also do this at your table if you need to. Just get some water. It's just a little bit messy, so sometimes it's nice to do it at the sink. Let me turn the camera. Actually, I'm gonna bring it over here so you guys can see really well what I am doing. Okay, so I have my clay here. This gets messy. It's clay though, it just washes off. But you can literally run this underwater and just start squeezing it into your hands, okay? That's really all I need to do for this. And here in a second, I will show you. Okay, I'm just squeezing it back and forth. This is getting the water all embedded throughout the clay. If I wash my hands, get all the slip off of my hands that I've created. And dry them. Now when I go to work with the clay, it's still gonna be a little bit messy and you can lay it out on the backer board, but now it's a lot easier. It's a little bit messy as you can see, but now this is good clay. It's ready to go. It's at that really nice malleable stage. Okay, so that's that. I can wedge this and I can put it back into my bag so I can use it for further projects. We're gonna go back to here. So as far as this leather hard clay goes, what I would recommend is getting a bag, okay? You can put it in there. You can also put it in a cup or a bucket that you might have. And what you're going to do, I have spray bottles by the sink. You're going to spray the heck out of this thing, or you can dunk the whole thing underwater. It's kind of nice if the clay is broken up a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything, but again, spray the heck out of it. So once I have done that, I'm just going to put it in my bag and store it in my cubby. When I come in tomorrow, that clay will be more malleable and you will be able to work with it a lot easier. Okay, bone dry clay makes amazing slip. So what I mean by that is if I have my cup and I have some pieces, maybe they're broken up, or I have little pieces just from like working with the clay, I can simply throw this in my cup, fill it up with water, and this will dissolve in about, because it's a larger chunk, maybe it will take like 3 hours, but it will turn into this most amazing slip consistency. So bone dry clay can be turned back into working clay. Last thing, once clay has been fired, it turns into what's called ceramic, and it can no longer be reconstituted or reused as clay. I laid this piece out on the board when I started this demo. It's pretty dang close to being ready to work with. It's still a little bit tacky and wet, but look how quickly that got into good working clay. All right, so you guys need to take care of your clay that you have in your bag, figure out what you need to do with it. If you have some larger bone dry pieces, I'm gonna show you where you can put it in the cubby room. So follow me. So I'm gonna take my bone dry clay into the cubby room, and down here is a bucket of water and clay. And you're just gonna throw it in there and make sure it goes underwater, and that will turn into slip. And then basically I dry it out on these plaster blocks once it turns into slip, just like the backer board. And then tomorrow, or sorry, at the end of the day, this will be ready to be scraped up off of there, and I can turn it back into clay. All right, thank you guys for watching.